Hey guys, David here, once again, also known as ThatDudeInBlue on YouTube. Here today, I am at VMP Performance with my 2013 Mustang GT. It has had a very long history. It has 108,000 miles on it. It was a daily driver. It was a bolt-on car made for 25 wheel. Then it was a Procharger car, as you see behind me. Today we're getting baseline numbers with the Procharger in order to see a difference between the Procharger setup and a VMP Gen3 Supercharger. So I'm excited to see the difference between the TVS and centrifugal and see how the torque especially improves. That's my biggest goal with this next setup, and it's gonna be extremely fun. So make sure to keep watching for the rest of the build. Bam!
Here we go.
Moment of truth.
So, with some tune adjustments, we got back to your 464 torque number.
Interesting.
But timing-wise, that is all that it would take. So,
You had enough, huh?
600 rear wheel horsepower with about 13, 14 degrees of timing is going to be our limit. So the timing's low because the knock sensor's actually pulling timing a little bit.
Right.
But centrifugal superchargers put a lot of noise right into the cylinder head.
Okay.
Where the knock sensor's trying to detect knock.
Okay.
So I don't know for sure if it's accurate without more testing.
Right. Well, I mean, even with all the noise, plus the heat soak, plus everything else, I think we got a pretty accurate number.
Yeah, we got an awesome baseline. I mean, it's only running 8 pounds of boost, 600 wheel is respectable.
It's so stupid.
We are here in the shop with David's car behind us, and we are going to be upgrading the Smurrf.
I'm so excited, dude. I'm cheeking real hard.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be great.
And the Smurrf is going to be getting upgraded, but it already has a supercharger.
It does, but a drastically different kind of form of force induction. Same concept, but centrifugal instead. And I'm excited to see the difference because I've never owned a TVS car, so I'm really stoked.
So David's current supercharger is a great way to produce additional power on a Coyote, makes a lot of peak horsepower, totally different technology.
Completely different.
It's got some pros and cons. We're gonna put a VMP Gen2R and a VMP Gen3 on David's car so we can see the difference between the VMP TVS-based positive displacement supercharger technology and the centrifugal Procharger technology that he has right now. Donnie's gonna get it installed on the car, and then we're gonna head back to the dyno.
We installed this thing in the cold and in the rain. And now we're in sunny Florida. I like this a lot better. All right, let's do this.
All right, we are back on the dyno with David's car. We just installed a VMP Gen2R kit, stage 1, with an 85mm pulley. So in this dyno test, we are going to basically try and match the amount of boost that the Procharger ran and have kind of a apples to apples comparison between the two power adders. I expect the peak numbers to be pretty similar and the low-end torque to be obviously totally different with the positive displacement style supercharger system. So I'm gonna get all my data logging going and make a dyno pull. to change the name in the power adder. VMP Gen2R first pull. Let's see what she does.
Yep.
Dude.
Whoa, right off the bat.
Dude.
Oh my God, I got it. Okay, so I didn't have the initial reaction of me seeing it, but it's pretty ridiculous. Right off the bat with a huge pulley. We're talking, what, the 85 mil?
85 millimeter.
Which is pretty hefty when it's on there. And in a nutshell, to explain Supercharger with a nutshell, the smaller the pulley, typically the more power you can potentially make. But we are using a big pulley, basically to try and match the Procharger. And wow, did it match the Procharger almost exactly, but with 100 more foot-pounds of torque almost.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty incredible.
Down here at the low RPM. So, okay, so you spend a lot of time like driving at like 3,500 RPM, and you're up 102 foot-pounds. At 3,500.
I can't. I just have to laugh at that. That's so awesome.
And even at 5,000, you're up a good 80 foot-pounds.
Wow.
Now, I will say, today we have awesome conditions.
It's perfect for dyno pulls today.
So there's probably 10 or 20 horse just in the conditions alone. We are seeing 628 rear wheel horsepower versus about 604 that you had with the Procharger. On
a warmer day, and heat soak and all that. So it evens out. If you were to just do basic,
I mean,
basic calculations would say that it evens out very, very well.
Yeah, peak to peak, very, very similar. But torque, obviously, that's where
it's a different game.
Big differences. I mean, Procharger makes a great product. We just do, we bring boost in a little bit different way, and it has some benefits.
Definitely. But what do you expect out of this if we play it more safe at first?
So with the mileage on your car and the quality of the 93 in the tank, I'll be happy with like 675.
That's Crimea River numbers to me. I mean, because to get here, you know, I stopped at different gas stations, like different BPs, different shells. So we're kind of finding some inconsistency in the gas. So but we put a little bit of octane booster to even it out, didn't we?
Yeah, just to get it up there.
Yeah.
Because the Gen 3 is gonna run more boost than the Gen 2R, even with a bigger pulley.
Yeah, with an even bigger pulley, it's gonna run more boost, like Justin said. So this is gonna be really interesting.
Yeah. Donnie just swapped on the VMP Gen3 Supercharger. We've got a 88 millimeter pulley on it, which is 3 millimeters larger than the pulley we had on the Gen 2R. I've got all my software hooked up and going. We're gonna make a pull and see how the Gen 3 does. We got there a little bit faster this time.
Remember, you dyno this car in 5th gear and it revved out that quickly. What in the, what did you do, Justin? What did you do? By accident! Guys, wait.
Oh man.
Listen. All right, listen. This man over here going, all right, so this will be a nice $10 first tune. It made 710 wheel horsepower on the first pull with the biggest pulley. What is that? I give up. It's easier to drive.
Getting that feel.
No, yeah. I have torque now. That's weird. Well, also, coming out of first gear is easier now. I don't have that kind of delay. I'll do it
Oh man, I'm not used to being a passenger.
Oh, you're not?
So that did surprise me a little bit.
So that was your real initial reaction? I was like, really?
And like the way it pulled, like, I mean, it veered ever so slightly into the right lane.
Yeah. we were going in that very short amount of time, and it's interesting because the way the power comes on, It's really buttery smooth, but it gets you enough to where you start feeling it in your temples a little bit, get into the upper RPM range.
It's pulling.
Us limiting the rev limiter, it's not a problem. It really is not a problem.
That's true.
Because with the Procharger, the advantage was up in the RPMs. It was like, that's when it really started to go. With this, it's literally instant.
Man, right when it gets to the top of the gear and the tires kind of start to break loose, gets a little squirrely.
Yeah.
That's something to live for right there.
Oh, I know. But it's controllable. It's not to the point where you're like, this is bad. Like some cars, when you drive high horsepower cars, you start to get this hopping lanes and all that. And this is still pretty buttery smooth.
You're not even on a drag radio, right?
No, we're on a Nitto Invo. That's it. Just a simple street tire.
It's cold out.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea how we're okay. I think that's amazing.
I will tell you, it's like you said, it's buttery smooth enough that it gives the car a chance to take a set and kind of load the rear end.
See, at first I was thinking, well, oh, maybe my hook, because of the Procharger's but less torque. You know, I was like, it gives it a chance to reel it out, like you said, but we just added 100 more foot-pounds and it didn't matter. Still did the thing. Wow. I am impressed. This is
Good. Good.
Yeah. No, and I'm not sucking up, I swear. I've driven a few VMP cars, but I've never driven a 5-liter VMP car. I've only done the GT500. I just realized that.
So now you get the best of both worlds. Torquey and high RPM horsepower, the Coyote.
Golly. What a game changer.
So we just got back from David's first drive with the VMP Gen3. You didn't even drive it with the Gen2R.
No.
That was really just for...
Nope.
That was just for dyno result reasons, so we could show you the progression from his previous power adder to the VMP Gen2R to the VMP Gen3. And since this is a stock Coyote engine, we're pretty much stopping here.
Yeah, no point. There is 0 point to keep going. And not only that, the car is fast.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things where I came down to VMP and got 30 extra horsepower. You know what I mean? I got that new reflash tune or whatever. No, it's a massive difference. It feels a lot faster.
Basically our VMP Gen3 kit, 88mm pulley, 67mm throttle body, twin 67mm throttle body, our custom tune, and 700 rear-wheel horsepower. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share to see more videos like this one, and check out David's channel, That Dude in Blue.
That's right.
He does lots of car review videos. They're awesome. He drove some of our cars while he was here, and he'll be doing more on his car with the VMP Gen3.
That's right. Good times.